All right, here we go. The news and you, a prepper perspective for December 13th. What's in the news and how we can use it to help prepare. New team to patrol the Alberta US border. The UCP government announced that they would be putting $29 million into border security with Montana. 51 officers, there'll be dogs, there'll be drones. The goal is to prevent illegal cross border activity. So this could be drugs, guns, any kind of illegal merchandise, human trafficking, illegal border crossings, or illegal immigrants. Thoughts on this? Well, right away I thought of good fences make good neighbors. And at a family, community, provincial, or national level, we need clear boundaries. We need to demarcate our borders. We need to defend and protect them for our sake and for each other's. There's nothing wrong with strong border security. You keep the bad activity down and the good activity up. This cool picture here is just of a neat fence, and there's lots of these, on the internet you can find where some neighbors said, hey, we're going to make it a fence. It's a good fence, but it turns into a table where you can share some good times with your neighbors. And that's what we need to do. We need to promote good activities, good cross-border trade, but we have to have a strong border and strong defense for each other. Canadians concerned the children are too soft. The article talked about a view that those aged 10 to 21 have not been taught appropriate coping skills. Social media, screens, helicopter parenting are big dangers. Survey said kids had a disadvantage growing up during COVID. Article says parents don't have enough support. What are some of my thoughts on it? Well, is it the kids that are too soft or the parents that are too soft? Be a parent, not a pushover. I thought of marshmallow parents when they were talking about helicopter parenting, and I thought, well, about marshmallow parenting. Marshmallows are okay once in a while, but all the time they're probably not good for you. Hopefully the marshmallow people don't get too mad at me, but they're too soft, too sweet, and lead to decay. And again, look at the things from this article that I pulled out that jumped out at me. Kids have not been taught. Okay, well, whose fault is that? The kids or the teacher who's not teaching them? Social media, screens, helicopter parenting are big. Parenting, again, there's the key. Be a parent. Kids have a disadvantage growing up during COVID. Stop blaming COVID. Stop blaming COVID for everything. Deal with it, right? If anything, there should have been more potential advantage because you had more time to be with your kids and help educate them and help teach them and help be a parent. If, the article said their etiquette is terrible, well, teach them etiquette. Teach them please and thank you. Teach them not to put their elbows on the table. Teach them not to slurp when they're drinking. If it's not appropriate to belch and burp out loud, don't do it. Don't chew with your mouth open. On and on and on. Basic skills. Be a parent. You can be strict but fair, firm but fair. You don't have to be abusive, but you need to be a parent. The difference between information, knowledge, and wisdom. This I found interesting because just was it yesterday or day before I've done some articles and some little videos, videos and some posts on, dawn of the dark ages is what I called one video, and how we're going to lose all of our shared knowledge, and we're going to go back to the dark ages. And where did all this go? Everything's digitized, and with one EMP or solar flare, all of that is gone instantly. That's a big difference, right? Before, with the great library at Alexandria and even public libraries now, if you want to destroy all of that information, all those books, you'd have to go and destroy a lot of different places. Take a long time. Now, with everything digital and online, it can all be gone at once. One push of a button, one fell swoop. The article touches on the writer's opinion of the article and of some books that we're living in an age with too much information and that we need books to bring us wisdom. Well, books can help bring us wisdom. Books in themselves aren't knowledge, right? They're information. They're a collection of things. Now, if we apply that and learn from it, they can pass wisdom down over gained experience, lessons learned, putting some actual judgment and thought around it to turn that knowledge into wisdom. My thoughts on this: it's good to see that things have been talking about and that we all, I think, see um, is getting more into the news. Books, again, are information, but we have to apply that information and learn to use it. You can't just have a whole bunch of books on your shelf, never have opened them, and say, "Oh, I've got so much knowledge here." Well, you might have, but you don't know it. And if you don't know it, what's the key word? Root of knowledge is to know. If you don't know what is in those books, it is not knowledge. It is a bunch of information. They could all be blank for all you know because you haven't read them and you haven't applied it. There's a lot of data. We have to process that data to get the information, useful information. And we need to analyze, think about it, practice, and apply that to get knowledge. And from there, with good judgment, we can get to wisdom. Stop mass street prayers with new bylaws. This was an article about, it was specifically talking about Quebec. And they're thinking about introducing new laws to ban all public worship, saying keep worship in the houses of worship. That's where it belongs, not on the streets blocking traffic. Okay, well, I think realistically, you don't need a place of worship per se to be able to worship, but you also can't break the law. You can't block streets and say, well, we're not protesting, we're worshiping, and you can't stop us from worshiping. Again, stop the silliness. That's you're abusing and bending the nuances of the law to try and get your point across. Get your point across without disrupting the lives of the law-abiding citizens. Right? There's lots of laws in place right now around protests, gathering, blocking streets. Enforce it. We don't need more laws. You can't keep making laws without enforcing them. It's like having a policy at a company and not enforcing it, and then saying, well, the solution is we need more policies. No, you don't. You have to enforce what you have. We need to decide what's important, and we need to enforce that. There's a few lawbreakers out there that are impacting many law-abiding people. We need to take action. Why not? What do people start pitching their tents, saying, well, here's a bunch of nice flat ground to put my tent on. I think I'm just going to camp here. No, you're blocking traffic, protesting, whatever it is, praying, any of those things, do it appropriately. Again, don't be silly, have some common sense, and let's move forward together on some of these things. That's it. That's all. Thanks for listening. Hope you like it, and subscribe and share.